Previously on the Roommate Cipher, the camera lingers on flickering city lights and the silhouettes of two roommates who share more than just secrets. When shared walls begin to whisper, can hearts stay silent? Welcome back to the Velvet Story, where every tale unfolds like velvet. Slow, deep, and unforgettable. Chapter 4, Doubts and Discoveries. The afterglow of their shared discovery faded, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose and a subtle shift in the dynamic between Evelyn and Liam. The comfortable camaraderie that had blossomed over the cipher was now tinged with an undeniable undercurrent of something else. A lingering glance, a shared smile that held a beat too long, a sense of anticipation that hummed beneath the surface of their interactions. But life, as it often does, had other plans. Evelyn, still deeply entrenched in the demands of her architectural project, found herself increasingly preoccupied with deadlines and meetings. The pressure at work mounted, leaving her stressed and irritable. The late nights at the office, fueled by caffeine and the relentless pursuit of perfection, left her with little energy for anything else, including the unfolding mystery and her increasingly complicated feelings for her roommate. Liam, sensing her withdrawal, tried to be supportive. He left her small, encouraging notes, made sure there was always a fresh pot of coffee, and even attempted to create a zen zone in the living room with soft lighting and calming music, which Evelyn politely, but firmly, dismantled. But his efforts, though well-intentioned, often felt like intrusions on her carefully constructed world of order and efficiency. One evening, Evelyn came home particularly late. Her face pale with exhaustion, to find Liam engrossed in his research on the architect's mark. He looked up, his eyes filled with concern. "Hey, you look beat." "Rough day," Evelyn managed a weak smile. "You have no idea. Ms. Peterson is demanding. And the presentation is tomorrow. I'm not sure I'm going to make it." Liam hesitated, then said, Maybe you should take a break. Just for a little while. Come look at what I found." He gestured to his notes, his voice filled with his usual enthusiasm. Evelyn, however, was in no mood for distractions. "Liam, I appreciate it, but I really need to focus on this. I can't afford to get sidetracked." Her tone, though not intentionally harsh, was clipped and dismissive. Liam's face fell slightly. "Right. Of course. Sorry." He retreated back into his research, his usual cheerful demeanor dimmed. The silence that followed was thick with unspoken tension. Evelyn, hunched over her laptop, felt a pang of guilt, but the pressure of her work outweighed her desire to bridge the gap. She told herself she was being responsible, prioritizing her career, but a small voice inside her whispered that she was also pushing away a connection that was starting to mean more to her than she wanted to admit. The mystery, however, refused to be ignored. Liam's research had led him to an old journal, hidden within the archives of the city library. The journal belonged to an apprentice of the architect whose mark they had found, and it contained cryptic entries about a secret project, a hidden room within a building he designed. Liam, excited by this discovery, tried to share it with Evelyn, but she was always too busy, too stressed, too focused on her work. He started to feel a familiar pang of loneliness, a feeling he thought he had left behind. Was he just a distraction to her? A temporary diversion from her meticulously planned life? The doubts crept in, on both sides. Evelyn wondered if she was capable of balancing her ambition with her growing feelings for Liam. Liam wondered if Evelyn's interest in him was genuine or merely a byproduct of a shared puzzle. The comfortable rhythm they had established was disrupted, replaced by a fragile uncertainty. The path forward, both in their relationship and in the unraveling mystery, was shrouded in doubt. Chapter 5, Romantic Resolution. The tension between Evelyn and Liam hung heavy in the apartment, a palpable force that neither of them seemed willing to address directly. Evelyn, caught between the crushing weight of her work and the unfamiliar pull of her emotions, continued to retreat into her carefully constructed world of deadlines and deliverables. Liam, sensing her distance, struggled to reconcile his growing feelings with the fear of rejection. Was he reading the signs correctly? Was there truly something between them, or was he just projecting his own desires onto a shared puzzle? The breakthrough, as it often does, came unexpectedly. Evelyn's presentation was a triumph. She delivered it with her usual poise and precision, her passion for architecture shining through every slide, every carefully chosen word. Miss Peterson, impressed, offered her a significant promotion, a validation of all her hard work and dedication. It was everything Evelyn had ever wanted, everything she had strived for. And yet, as she celebrated with her colleagues, a small, persistent voice in the back of her mind whispered a question. Was this really everything? She returned to the apartment late that night, the city lights blurring past the taxi window, her mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. The adrenaline of the presentation, the satisfaction of her success. The nagging sense of something missing. Liam was waiting for her in the living room. He wasn't working on his art or his research. He was simply sitting on the couch, the room bathed in the soft glow of a single lamp, his expression unreadable. "Hey," he said, his voice low. "How did it go?" Evelyn hesitated, unsure how to answer. "It went well. Really well. I got the promotion." Liam's face broke into a genuine smile. "That's amazing, Evelyn. Congratulations. I knew you'd nail it." But Evelyn didn't feel the elation she expected. "Thanks," she said quietly. She sank onto the opposite end of the couch, the weight of her exhaustion settling over her. Liam studied her for a moment, sensing her unease. "You don't seem happy," Evelyn sighed, the dam of her carefully constructed composure finally cracking. "I am happy," she said, the words sounding hollow even to her own ears. "It's just everything I've been working for, it's finally happening. And it's overwhelming." Liam shifted closer, his gaze gentle. "Overwhelming good or overwhelming bad?" Evelyn looked at him, really looked at him, for the first time in what felt like days. She saw the concern in his eyes. The genuine care that had been a constant presence in her life, even when she had been pushing him away. And in that moment, the small voice inside her grew louder, more insistent. "I don't know," she confessed, her voice barely a whisper. "I've been so focused on my career, on achieving this thing, that I forgot about everything else." Liam reached out, his hand hovering near hers, then gently resting on her arm. "Everything else like the weird symbols? Or the fact that you haven't slept properly in a week?" Evelyn finally allowed herself to meet his gaze. "Or the fact that I might be falling for my incredibly messy, incredibly distracting, and incredibly kind roommate." The words tumbled out of her, a confession she hadn't even realized she was about to make. The silence that followed was different from the tense silences of the past few days. This silence was filled with a fragile hope, a shared vulnerability. Liam's eyes widened, his expression a mixture of surprise and disbelief. "You're falling for me?" Evelyn nodded, her cheeks flushing. "Is that a bad thing?" Liam's smile bloomed, genuine and radiant. "No, Evelyn. That's the best thing I've heard all day. Because I think I'm falling for you too." He moved closer, bridging the small gap between them. Their eyes met, and the unspoken tension that had been building between them finally shattered, replaced by a connection that was both undeniable and exhilarating. He leaned in, and their lips met in a kiss that was both tentative and passionate, a culmination of shared moments, shared laughter, and a shared mystery. It was a kiss that promised a new beginning, a chance to rewrite their carefully constructed narratives and embrace the messy, unpredictable beauty of life. Chapter 6. The truth revealed. The kiss that sealed Evelyn and Liam's budding romance also reignited their shared passion for the apartment mystery. The discovery that they were both, in their own ways, seeking connection and meaning beyond their initial expectations gave them a renewed sense of purpose. The faded architectural symbols, once a curious puzzle, now felt like a key to unlocking something deeper, something that resonated with their own journey of self-discovery and unexpected connection. They dedicated the next few days to a focused investigation, their contrasting skills complementing each other perfectly. Evelyn's analytical mind, honed by years of deciphering complex blueprints, tackled the intricate details of the cipher, while Liam's artistic intuition and creative problem-solving skills helped them see the bigger picture. Their research led them to the city archives, where they spent hours poring over old maps, historical records, and documents related to the architect whose mark they had found. They learned that the apartment building was one of his early projects, commissioned by a wealthy patron with a penchant for the unconventional. The journal they had found hinted at a hidden room, a secret space designed for a specific purpose, but the details were vague and cryptic. The breakthrough came when Evelyn recognized a subtle anomaly in the original architectural plans for the building. A small, almost imperceptible discrepancy that had been overlooked for decades. It was a detail so minor, so easily dismissed, that only someone with Evelyn's keen eye for structural detail would have noticed it. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a faint line on the plan. "It's a false wall. There's a space here that's not accounted for in the dimensions of the building." Liam, his eyes widening with excitement, traced the line with his finger. "You're right, but how do we find it?" Their search led them back to the apartment, armed with the architectural plans and a renewed sense of determination. They meticulously examined the walls, tapping, measuring, and comparing their findings to the plans. The other tenants, initially amused by their project, soon became intrigued, drawn into the mystery by their infectious enthusiasm. Finally, after hours of searching, Liam's artistic intuition led him to a section of the living room wall that felt slightly off. He noticed a subtle difference in the texture, a faint seam that was almost invisible to the naked eye. "I think this is it," he said, his voice hushed with anticipation. Working together, they carefully pried open the section of the wall, revealing a hidden door. Behind the door was a small, secret room, untouched by time. Inside, they found a collection of objects, old letters, photographs, and a beautifully crafted wooden box. The contents of the box revealed the truth behind the mystery. The room had been designed as a sanctuary, a place where the architect and the patron could escape the pressures of their lives and connect on a deeper level. The letters spoke of a passionate friendship, a shared love for art and beauty, and a desire to create a space that celebrated their unique bond. The discovery resonated deeply with Evelyn and Liam. It was a testament to the power of connection, the importance of finding solace and meaning in unexpected places, and the enduring nature of human relationships. It mirrored their own journey, their own unexpected connection forged in the shared space of the apartment and the shared pursuit of a mystery. In the aftermath of the discovery, the apartment felt different. Lighter, more open, filled with a sense of history and connection. Evelyn and Liam's relationship deepened, their bond strengthened by the shared experience. They had found more than just a hidden room, they had found a connection that transcended the ordinary. A love story written in the very walls of their home. The series concludes with Evelyn and Liam, no longer just roommates, but partners, standing in the living room, the secret room now a part of their shared history. They look at each other, a silent understanding passing between them, a promise of a future filled with love, laughter, and the continued exploration of the unexpected beauty that life has to offer. Some ciphers aren't cracked with keys, but with feelings we fear the most. Thank you for watching the Roommate Cipher. Last part. Like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned to the Velvet Story, where love meets mystery, one chapter at a time.